That's why a secret of keeping momentum is selling between meetings and following up with things that are really valuable. I think most of us want to add value. We hear that all the time, add value, add value. But what does that actually mean? This chart is a really good way to visualize the concept of what we're talking about here, because what's valuable changes as sales stages change, because what buyers care about changes. Okay. So in the beginning, before there's any, so there's, when they're not aware of us, once they become aware of us and there's some admitted pain or potential opportunity, look at this top piece. The top thing they're worried about is, what do they need? The second thing they're thinking about is, what does the solution have? Like, do we even need it? Right? And then what's out there? Then price, then risk. They're not thinking about risk because there's no risk in just considering or learning about something. However, notice all this flux as we get to the end of a sales cycle. By the end of the sales cycle, risk is the number one thing buyers are worried about, then price, then they're thinking about what they need, then they're thinking about what our solution actually does. So if we are at the end of a sales cycle still talking about what they need and what our solution does, many times this explains why we get ghosted, because we're not aligned with them. We're not talking about what they are thinking about. Okay. This kind of chart puts language around that visual. So as buyers move through a buying process with us, they're asking themselves a number of questions. And this can be one of the easiest ways to think about, as we move through a sales cycle, what is valuable, right? Because even if they're not asking these questions out loud, they're generally asking these questions of themselves and in their internal meetings. So when they're just exploring things, the first question is, do we have a problem or a goal that we urgently need help with? Do we have a problem? Is it urgent? Then whenever they are interested and now they're pursuing a solution, then the question is, what's out there to solve the problem? How do the vendors differ? Who needs to be involved in the evaluation? Right? They're figuring out their needs, what the solution, all the different solutions do. Then when they're engaged and they're actively pursuing a solution, then they really start to wonder about needs and solution, right? This is technical evaluation. What exactly do we need this to do? Who are the vendors that we feel good about? Let's start to build consensus. Then as they move toward a decision, they really start to ask themselves, okay, now that I understand we want to solve the problem, what's out there? We've defined what we want the solution to do. Is this really, is the juice really worth the squeeze? Is it really worth the effort that we're going to put into this? Is the cost of inaction so big that we can't not do it? Is the ROI proven so that we know it's not going to be something that is just vaporware or shelfware, right? Then as from decision to execution, when they feel comfortable actually signing something, actually sending money, the question that they're asking in their minds before they sign is, what's next? How will this get done? How do we get to value? Okay. So in this chart, and there is there's a template that goes along in the template library where you'll be able to see this chart and you'll be able to make a copy, because what this can be valuable to do as you think about a system for how to keep momentum, following up with value, is by adding in some ideas of what are some things that you can send to sell between meetings that truly is following up with value, answering the top question that's on a buyer's mind as they move through the different phases of the sales cycle. So this is an example of something I've used at User Gems. This is an example I would send early when the buyer is asking themselves, do I have a problem that is big enough to solve? And this is the exact email. I would put this graphic up here from Gartner and then just a couple of sentences. Gartner research says to reach out to past buyers as soon as they start a new gig. Within the first 30 days is crucial because they start to measure at 45 days in a new job. Thought this visual lined it out really well. I'm not asking for more time. I'm simply providing thought leadership, third-party research that's helping them evaluate, do we have a problem that's big enough to solve? And the risk here is we're not doing this. We're not making this time window. What are we missing out on? Did we really misunderstand the level of problem that we have? Here's another email that I sent as part of following up selling between meetings with value. This is moving along into the later part of the sales cycle, right? Where the question is like, is this juice worth the squeeze? Will we really get out of this what we think we will? I love to send a screenshot of Slack or like a phone, like showing a text from customers, right? And when we send it in Slack or send a screenshot of a Slack or screenshot of a text that a customer send us, that feels organic because it is organic. It's not something our marketing team put together. Like we have wonderful friends in marketing, but we all think about what we want as consumers. When we're evaluating a new restaurant, we are probably less interested in what the restaurant says about itself versus looking at Google reviews or Yelp, right? We care about what other people think, the value other people have found. So that's why I sent this email. So I just took this quick screenshot from Slack talking, and this customer let us, and this is actually the Slack shows a text. We closed a $500,000 deal from a lead we got from you. And then I would just put that at the top of the email. And then the rest of the email was, hey, their largest deal of the quarter was $500,000 piped and closed, started with user gems. You love to see it, right? It's showing, not telling. It's showing you will get value out of this. Other people like you are getting incredible value from this, answering the question that they may not be asking out loud, but still they're asking themselves.